So when you have a lesion that's in the pons, we really are talking about horizontal gaze problems, and that's sixth nerve and the parapontine reticular formation, as well as the medial longitudinal fasciculus, which connects the sixth nerve nucleus to the third nerve nucleus. So the Pontine syndromes that come to me are the ones that are in the dorsal pons. And so when you're in the dorsal pons, you have the sixth, you have the seventh, and you have the MLF. So I got MLF, which is going upstairs to 3. I got the sixth nerve nucleus. I got parapontine reticular formation. And because the seventh nerve nucleus is very close to the sixth nerve nucleus and its fascicle wraps around dorsally, it makes this little bump in the back of the pons called the facial colliculus. And so the combination of these dorsal pontine things are going to be either sixth nerve nucleus, which causes horizontal gaze palsy, same with parapontine reticular formation, plus or minus the seventh nerve, which is facial nerve. And if you ding out the medial longitudinal fasciculus, you'll get combinations of horizontal gaze palsies plus INO, or you might get the fascicle of 6. And the fascicle of 6 cause abduction deficit and esotropia. So you can have any combination of these findings, half and half, 1.5. The seventh is like an 8.5 from the combination of 7, nucleus of 6, MLF on one or both sides. When you have stroke syndromes that cause this, the more ventral the problem is, the more other stuff you're going to get, and the more lateral you go, the more likely you are to hit different structures than the medial pontine structures. So the seventh kind of takes off and goes laterally. So when you have this 6, 7, and a hemiparesis, that's going to be more lateral, as well as the Horner syndrome. So this more lateral syndrome is going to be the lateral pontine syndromes, and the medial pontine syndromes are going to be involving the medial structures like the medial longitudinal fasciculus and the medial lemniscus, and that's going to be sensory problems on the contralateral side. So the more dorsal you are, the more likely it just to be eye. The more ventral you are, the more likely you are to be eye plus arms and legs on the contralateral side. And the more lateral you are, the more likely you are to get the other cranial nerves at the level of the pons, which is the seventh. These have names. So Raymond, Millard Gubler, these are the names that we're going to be thinking of moving from medial to lateral. And then Fauville, which has a lot more stuff, the Horner syndrome, the seventh nerve palsy. So once you start getting the 6, the 7, and the hemiparesis, you're really starting to talk about ventral syndromes. Those ventral pontine syndromes can be either medial or lateral. That's Millard Gubler and Raymond. And if you start getting everything out laterally, Fauville.